Good morning, all of you. So today I'll have to complete the last topic of the chapter, that is difference between movement along the same demand curve and shift in the demand curve. Okay, so I have given you, so first basis you people will do meaning. Meaning is there with you people. So what do you mean by movement along the same demand curve? When there is a movement in the demand curve due to only price of the commodity, other factors remaining constant, is called movement along the same demand curve. Okay, then what do you mean by shift in the demand curve? That is also there with you. When demand curve shift due to all the factors other than price of the commodity is called shift in the demand curve. Okay, so meaning of both is there with you people. So you will write down the meaning. Then we have to write the next one, that is causes. So what is the cause of movement along the same demand curve? Price of the commodity, other factors remaining constant. And what is the cause of the shift in the demand curve? You'll write 3, 4 at least, like change income of the consumer, taste and preference of the commodity, price expectation, distribution of income, size and composition of population. At least 3, 4 you people will write. So I hope you people will able to write the meaning and causes of movement and shift in the demand curve. Fine. Now next which I'll have to give you today is the diagram. Okay, we have to do the diagram of movement. How we'll do, and one more basis if you want you can take, that is types. One more basis you can take here, types. Okay, so types, you can write that the movement along the same demand curve is of 2 types: extension of demand and contraction of demand. And here shift in the demand is of 2 types: increase in demand and decrease in demand. Is it clear? So 3 bases we have done. The last one we'll do now, that is diagram. In diagram we'll draw both. Now see here, first we'll label all. This side will show quantity demanded, and this side will show price. Okay, this is the format of the diagram for the movement along the same demand curve. Okay, now we have to draw both extension of demand and contraction of demand in the same demand curve. Okay, so for that what I will do, in the middle I'll take first original quantity P, original price P, and original quantity Q. Okay, then now we have to show extension. For extension we have to take fall in price. So price is falling from OP to OP1. If price will fall from OP to OP1, what will happen to quantity? Quantity will rise from OQ to OQ1. Is it clear? OQ1. Now we have to show contraction. For contraction what will happen? Demand contracts. When demand contracts? When price rise. So price is rising. This is the original price from OP. Here you have taken OP1, so we'll take OP2. From OP to OP2. Then if price will rise from OP to OP2, what will happen to quantity? Quantity will fall from OQ to OQ2. See, is it clear? So now see here, I hope there is no problem. Now we'll join P to Q. We'll join first original price and original quantity. This is your A. Then we'll join P1 to Q1. This is your B. And then we'll join P2 to Q2. this is your C. All right. So movement from A to B will be downward. Movement from A to C will be upward. Okay. And this is your upward movement. And this is your downward movement. Is it clear? Now we'll join the demand curve. We'll join the demand curve. This is D, D, C. Okay. Now we know downward movement is extension of demand. Upward movement is contraction of demand. Now below the diagram we will write. Below the diagram we will write. What you will write? Upward movement. Upward movement shows extension of demand. Downward movement shows contraction of demand. That's it. Upward movement, downward movement, children, downward movement, you will write below the diagram, downward movement from A to B. Downward, below the diagram you will write, downward movement from A to B shows extension of demand, and upward movement from A to C shows contraction of demand. That's it. Is it clear? So this is your diagram of movement along the same demand curve. Okay. Now we'll draw the diagram of increase in demand, shift in demand. Shift in demand diagram is easy because here you will not show the price and quantity, but labeling we have to do. Quantity demanded. Now see, first we will take original demand DD, and you know that rightward shift from DD to D1, D1 shows increase in demand, and leftward shift from DD to D2, D2 shows, this is which shift? Leftward shift. And this is which shift? Rightward shift. Rightward shift. This is your diagram of shift in demand and movement along the same demand curve. Is it clear to all of you? Okay, now below the diagram of this shift in demand you write, here you write below the diagram, rightward shift of the demand curve from DD to D1, D1, rightward shift of the demand curve from DD to D1, D1 shows increase in demand, and leftward shift of the demand curve from DD to D2, D2 shows decrease in demand. Is it clear to all of you? So this much you people have to complete. Okay, this is the last topic of your chapter, that is second chapter, movement along the same demand curve and shift in the demand curve. Okay, now we have to start the new chapter, children. The new chapter, that is chapter number 3, that is theory of consumers behavior. That I am going to upload the video tomorrow. Okay, now under the theory of consumers behavior, we are going to study the two theories, that is movement, that is two theories, that is marginal utility approach and cardinal utility approach. Okay, now children, see, we have to start now chapter number 3, that is theory of consumers behavior. Okay, now tomorrow onwards I am going to explain you in the blackboard, but today I just wanted to give you the introduction that we are going to study chapter 3 now, that is theory of consumers behavior. In this we study two theories. Okay, one is the classical theory of consumers behavior, one is the modern theory of consumers behavior. Is it clear? Now the classical theory, the name of the classical theory is, it is called by three names: marginal utility approach theory, cardinal utility approach theory, or utility approach theory. The classical theory has three names: marginal utility approach theory, or cardinal utility approach theory, or utility approach theory. Is it clear? Then second theory to understand consumers behavior is modern theory. Okay, and modern theory is called by two names: indifference curve approach theory or ordinal utility approach theory. Is it clear, children? Now see, this chart is there which you people have to prepare. You people have to prepare this chart. Okay, in this chart you will study, we will start with chapter number 3, that is theory of consumers behavior. Under this we'll study two theory we will study, children. Okay, one is the classical theory, which is given by the classical economist, and one is the modern theory, which is given by the modern economist. Is it clear? Classical theory name is marginal utility approach, or cardinal utility approach, or utility approach. Modern theory is called indifference curve approach or ordinal utility approach. All right, so these are the two theories that we people need to study in chapter number 3. Okay, so that I am going to explain you people today. So a brief introduction of chapter 3 I have given to you people today, and we are going to start tomorrow with the classical theory, that is marginal utility approach. So you people have to make this chart, children. Okay, and in this third chapter we'll study about these two theories. Okay, so for today only this much. Thank you, children.